guys,
Welcome back to Married
Without
Without Children.
I hope you guys are doing great today. We're gonna switch it up a little bit today. You want to tell them what we're gonna do, back?
We're gonna do a Q&A. Q&A. You want to set up about the show and stuff that you was watching?
We have been watching Black Love.
Well, you have.
Well, I have. I started off and then I just kind of told him about it, turned him onto it. So, I think it's a phenomenal show. It comes on OWN, and it's great to hear different perspectives from different couples that have been married for, a number of years, or some are newlyweds and things of that sort. Just getting a different perspective from different variations, of individuals. And just hearing some of their stories, knowing that some situations are very relatable to some things that we've experienced, that we're learning. And even at almost 10 years, it'll be 10 years, October 11th, when we thought we wouldn't have made it. Next week
Almost did.
will be 10 years. Yes, we almost did not make it, but to God be the glory. So, we wanted to do a Q&A. And with the Q&A, we picked out some questions, and the questions will come across the screen, and we'll just, answer those questions accordingly. So we'll ask each other that specific question and just get each other's, outlook on it.
Feedback. Yeah. All right. Yep. So we're going to dive down into that, some topics on marriages. Where we at, like I said, she said we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary next week, next Sunday on the 11th to be exact. So this is a big milestone for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Not just for 10 years and being able to be married for 10 years, but still be married and starting the next journey, the next chapter in our marriage.
Next chapter, yep. What y'all think about my hair? Y'all like it? Let me know if y'all like it or not. So it's kind of like the other big hair that I had. But I did like a red color and brown. It was mixed. So this time I did like a honey blonde and just a few different mixtures of brown. And then a little bit of highlights. So anyway, that's off topic and I'm good for that. Oh! So we're gonna start with the first question. I just kind of made some notes here. We're going to be very honest with our answers, of course.
Full transparency.
Yeah, very much so. And I have a few questions down and some we may just kind of throw in there. But like Ken was saying, we almost didn't make it. We had a very difficult challenge that we experienced just maybe a little bit over a year ago. And so just being able to overcome that, being able to seek counseling, go through counseling, which we only did three sessions. I think we mentioned that in a different video, but we only did 3 sessions. And then because of COVID, we just hadn't been able to go back, but it was definitely very helpful for us. And, we were at the point to where we were literally going to completely be done. Yeah. So in marriage, I do want to just say this: you will face something in your marriage. It won't be without challenges or objectives to overcome. Some may be deal breakers for some may not be. It may be different things that you may deal with that someone else didn't deal with, could be a deal breaker for you. Once again, it may not be for someone else, but there will be some challenges. It could be very little small things, but just never go into marriages realistically. Don't go into marriage with a false expectation that it will require no effort or no work, and that you won't face any challenges, because again, it could just be the smallest things. It doesn't have to be infidelity. It doesn't have to be financial issues. It doesn't have to be, other family members being involved and causing strain on the marriage. It doesn't have to be the way you parent with children. We don't have children, but that's just sometimes one of the things that can cause dismays in marriages, just not being able to come to an agreement. So I've heard on parenting and different things like that. So it doesn't have to be those big explosive things. It could be very little bitty small things. Something else you want to add, babe?
Yeah, man. It's just, just some of the stuff we're gonna get into talking about is, different things you have to learn. No two people are the same, even identical. They're not the same. So people are going to be different, and then with time, you're going to grow and mature in that. And then you have to, especially if you're at a young age, growing and learning at the same time within your marriage. So, those are things that comes with the territory. And yeah, you may not have all the, the knowledge of that first off at hand, but you gotta learn each other's differences and things like that. And like with time, people change and things change. So, it's just trying to adapt and come into the new realm of your new reality. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but with that being said, man, it's been, it's definitely a journey. And it's definitely work.
But it's worth it.
Put in, yeah.
It's definitely been worth it, because you have to decide when you get to the point where you have to face these obstacles and challenges. Mm-hmm. Is it bigger than the marriage? And I heard this from the man's. Is whatever the situation that you're going through or struggling with, is it bigger than the marriage? And so if you can answer that question and it's not bigger than the marriage, then you fight. Now I will say there can be situations where you may be really compatible with the other individual that you are with, that could cause things to be a little bit more easier as far as adapting to one another, because a lot of times you can both come from two completely different backgrounds, etc. And we all know that who we are, we're shaped based off of life experiences, environment.
All those attributes follows you into your adult years. It kind of shapes you of who you become, the type of attributes and personality traits you will have.
Exactly. And then too, if you haven't had some type of model to emulate in any form, whether it be parenting, whether it be marriage, whether it be respectful, or on either end, that's something that you could possibly emulate as well. So when you get into marriage, I think it's important to understand what works for your marriage, because what works for our marriage may not work for your marriage. So you have to just decide on what works for you guys, and what can help you to sustain in that relationship with one another. Because you have to adjust. You have to adjust on both ends. Mm-hmm. Because, and we'll go into the Q&A, but for me, I was independent. I just was raised to be very independent. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of women in today's life are very independent, make their own money, do their own thing. Mm-hmm. And so when they come together with another individual, it's definitely hard to walk away or pull back sometimes, pull back from that independent type of, characteristic, and submit. It's yeah. That could be the tough part, to say the least.
Yeah.
What would you
That's
say?
A learned type of situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't come into it. Everybody's different, of course, but whoever you are at that point in time, when you decide to be a union with another person, those things that you have already, you're coming into it with. That's kind of some of what got you to that point. But at the end of the day, time changes. You grow up and learn different things, and you become, not the same person that you were however many years ago. So, I mean, all of those are things that have to be, learned and adjusted and adapted to.
You got to figure out how to take both of those from each individual and mesh it together
Yeah.
to make it work.
And compromise.
Compromise
is key. It's going to take a lot of compromise.
Compromise, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll go into the Q&A. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question is,
for me, to start off, I have to say, I'll probably have to say like communication. Communication was the biggest and has been ongoing the biggest situation to try to overcome, and it's been a challenge. Just based off of who I am, personality wise. Like, I am reserved, I'm quiet, I stay to myself, I like to be to myself a lot. That's a fabric of how I was raised.
Yeah.
And being by myself a lot of times growing up. So talking a lot, like, having good communication skills is not something that I acquired as a youth. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I'm having to, in my more mature years, learn to develop and to strengthen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that has been one of my biggest challenges within this marriage, and knowing and having the wisdom and understanding that it's, you have to break down some of your barriers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or whatever, you're having attached to you that may be stimulated from a childhood experience or whatever the case. Like, you have to realize and understand that, okay, that's not going to be a thing that can be accepted or whatever in a different type of situation, i.e. marriage. So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But for a person that has been that way and is, basically antisocial, it's something you have to learn and really have to put hard work into. You know what I mean? So it's not something that just, for some people, it may come easy. For others, it takes time and development. So I think, that's probably the biggest challenge.
For you. I would say my biggest challenge has been, not that I'm controlling. I won't say that I'm controlling, but I always have it in my mind of how I want things to go. So I think just having that attribute, which is an attribute to me, a good attribute, but it doesn't mean that it's a good attribute to your partner. Because it's, even although it's set in my mind, hey, this is how I want it to go, it can come off as being controlling to every situation. And so I think just over the time, and actually still to date, still being able to adapt to that, because knowing how it makes you feel as a man, it can kind of translate into a situation with that. Mm-hmm. And so that's something I don't want to ever do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just feel like I've always been the one to, for myself and for others, just to take charge and get things done. Mm-hmm. And, I want it done when I want it done, a lot of times. And it bugs me when I can't get things done when I want it done, So for me, it's kind of like, okay, I'll just do it myself, and just get it done, or if I want it done, I want it done right then. It gives me such anxiety I won't say anxiety per se, but it puts me in a mood that's just,
it does, yeah.
It's not,
it does a little bit.
It's not a good thing. I think, and that comes with me being spoiled, growing up, obviously being spoiled and, just kind of having things my way. But two, I just think like with my mom was very proactive. She likes to get things done. Get it done, get it done, get it done. So I think I took that attribute from her, and it's just kind of like, hey, if it needs to be done, I want to get it done. What can we do to get it done right now?
Right.
Because if you just delay it or put it to the side, then it can get lost in translation or not get done. And so I think that's something that I struggle with, and that has been my by far biggest challenge with being, cohabitating and being in a marriage. It's just trying to scale back in that manner so that it doesn't come off like I'm trying to emasculate. Sorry. Yeah. I may have to edit that. Emasculate or, control anyone. Because that's never my intent. It's just that I want to get it done. So
yeah.
That's my biggest.
Yeah, this is something that's, you grow and go into it, and over time you'll learn these situations and learn that person, and just trying to adapt to that environment so that it's like
becomes
equal playing field. You know what I mean? And it's no pull, tug and pull on either end. You know what I mean? So
like it's gonna go my way. No, it's gonna go my way.
Right.
Like two little kids fighting on a playground.
Right.
No, someone has to give, and at the end of the day, you both have to give some type of leverage and
compromise.
compromise. Absolutely. So we're gonna go to the next question. How
for our marriage?
I can answer that one if you don't have an answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we're still finding it. Almost 10 years later, I think
that's true.
And the reason why
things change.
Right. The reason why I say I think we're still finding it is because people change.
Yeah.
People evolve. People, we've been together since we were 21 and 24. And so now we're 36 and 40. So you look at that wide scale of age range within itself. We were super duper young. And so I think a lot of times you don't really know yourself, until you until you get into your 30s. Is really when you really kind of settle in with life and really figure out what you want in life, what is required for you to, fulfill what you need to fulfill in life. So yeah, I think that's like an ongoing thing because people change and, no one ever stays the same.
You're always, as long as you're living, you're always going to be learning.
Yes.
That's period. That's just a fact of life. You're always going to learn. And the only thing that's inevitable is change and death. Like,
my mom
change
always
is going
said
to be
that.
constant. You know what I mean? So you have to adapt.
Yes.
Or, get rolled over, as I say. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
you have to adapt to, different situations and changing times and all of that other stuff. So it's a challenge. It's a job. I mean, you just have to put work at it, and both whoever parties have both the same equal mindset, at least have the same, mindset and goals and aspirations, things on that nature. So then you can build a foundation around it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To build up from that way. Because, things are going to change. You're going to have to learn new stuff. You're going to have to switch things around, whatever it comes with it. So that's just going to happen.
And a lot of times, sometimes you find out that you don't want the same things, or it may be you don't want the same things at the same time.
Yeah.
So you then have to make a decision on what's more important in that moment. And so then you have to come up with the solution on it.
Right.
And, but sometimes that can be, so when we talk about things being a deal breaker, that could be a deal breaker for some. So you have to decide too, is it bigger than the marriage even at that point? Is, how I feel about, the situation, but just kind of piggybacking off of him, I think, that was one thing. If I had to say the best advice my mom gave me, the best advice, so that can be a question. We're going to use that as a question. So the best advice that we've ever gotten from our parents, from my mom, The best advice that I've ever gotten from my mom is that change is inevitable. Change is constant.
Yeah.
It's no way around it.
Period.
Change is constant.
Universal law.
Yeah. So that's the best advice that I've ever gotten from my mom. And my mom was the type of person, she really instilled a lot of wisdom in me. And I guess God knew that I was going to lose them pretty early because, I mean, some of the things that they told me now, I can look back on and be like, oh, okay. But I would say, yeah, for my mom, that would have to be the best advice that I got from her that has carried me through life. What would you say?
Man, it's just, I mean, it's a lot of advice my mom did instill in me. I mean, my mom did the best she could possibly do with me.
Yeah, but just what was the best advice she ever gave you? Or best lesson?
Just the best lesson. I would think when a lot of all the women in my family did that, but my mom did it the most. Was she's not going. Don't be a dirty or a filthy dude.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a filthy husband or a dirty husband. So
Okay.
yeah, I learned all of that from her. How to clean right.
Glad somebody
Doing
did
this,
try,
doing
'cause I
that,
did.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she poured all that in me, so I wouldn't be a sorry husband to my future wife.
Oh, good. Okay. Now, see, we talk about that. It was just you talk about spoiled. We want to go into that. Okay. On my
Y'all
dad.
had maids and stuff, right?
We didn't have maids, but our mom pretty much did it. I think even when I was like an adult, not when I lived by myself, but when I was still an adult, a young adult living at home, it's times that my mom would have cleaned my room up, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? And she just spoiled me to the core. Like my brother, he was away in college in Houston, and I remember there would be times we would go down, or her and my grandmother would go down just to like clean his place. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about spoiled. So, and even like the ladies, the women in my family, like not our immediate, but just like my first cousins and things of that sort. It's kind of crazy because we don't know how to cook. We can cook the things that we
could.
Well, yeah, we can cook the things that we,
like the most.
Like the most. We could kind of
lasagna.
Little stuff like that.
Yes.
And I think as we've gotten older and we've been in relationships and things of that sort, we've kind of learned more. But oh my God, like, how you grow up and you're in the kitchen cooking and stuff. No, we were not. We were like in the kitchen.
That's kind of where I got like.
Living
I used to
room
watch
hanging
my
out.
mom and my grandmother cook all the time.
Yeah, we didn't care. We didn't have any interest. We were just straight up like in there chit chatting and laughing it up and.
That's because I was the only child, and wanted some type of
interaction.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Play the violin.
Yeah. Oh. So anyway, that was the best advice I got from my mom. The best advice that I've gotten from my father would have been never completely trust anyone. That now with that.
Yeah, sure.
Whew, that has been something else. That's a complex statement because sometimes I can find myself overtly, investigating people's behaviors and things, and it may take a turn for the worse with that statement. And not being able to be completely vulnerable for me when it comes to that. So, although
it's a gift and a curse.
It's a gift and a curse. That's a good
It's
way to
one
put
of
it.
those things, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you gotta have your head on the swivel and be cautious all the time.
All the time.
Then you might be
Overtly,
pushing things away.
pushing people away. That could be great
for you. Yeah,
That's
whatever.
right. That's my point exactly. So it's like a curse, and but that was by far has been the best advice he has given me. And I think a lot of times it has saved me because me being overtly cautious, it has saved me. And then with my discernment from God, listen, it has saved me 10 times over. But not saying don't trust anyone. He just said never completely 100% trust anyone. So anyway, what's the best advice your dad gave you?
Really like advice or just instilling, a strong work ethic in me. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? When I first moved to Texas, I moved with my father for the first time in my life. And I knew that God works in mysterious ways. He knew I needed that. He knew I needed that peace in my life. So it was like, it was structure. Like I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of floating amok. Like I didn't have structure. No, I was, because I was like living off and on by myself for a while. And then my mother, you know what I'm saying? The times I was living with her, it was, I was just doing my own thing. And yeah, I was getting into stuff. But at the same token, like it brought me structure and brought me a great foundation and have a good work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like I had school, had to work full time. Understand? So, you know what I'm saying? It was just like,
and he graduated,
graduated, cum laude, on top of that. So,
nice.
but yeah, I mean that brought a sense of awareness in me, especially at the age of 19. Like that's what I needed at that time. You know what I'm saying? To deal with the rest of the world and deal with and put the formula in my head. Okay, these are the things that it's gonna take for me to keep striving and keep achieving and excelling and things of that nature. So that was a good lesson, whatever you called it, that he instilled in me.
That's it. Well, thank you, Daddy Ken, for that because yes, he does have a good work ethic. I will say that absolutely. So there was 3 questions that we had. We didn't want to make the video too long. We'll just kind of have a few other discussions about some things. So
yeah, and also let us know in the comments below if you want to have more segments like this, and what topics you guys want to hear about, or ask us any questions or anything like that. So yeah, definitely do that, and we'll keep these videos alive.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
comment down below. Let us know you like the questions, want to hear some more questions, more topics on this nature, things like that. Also, you go follow
Just Been Aisha. Listen, guys, bear with me on my channel because I don't like doing this. Okay, I don't like being on camera like this and talking. I like to sing. I don't like being on camera in this format, but I've been advised by my manager that it is something I need to do to interact with my lovelies out there. So we're doing it. Okay, so bear with me on Just Being Aisha. I don't do a lot of footage over there.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
It's in the works.
I'm always saying coming soon. It's coming. Okay, I'm gonna try my best to do better.
Stuff coming up, so
just bear with me.
And also
and his channel
platforms.
Oh, goodness gracious. Aisha Owens Brand on Instagram, Aisha Owens Brand on Facebook, then just my personal page, Aisha Owens. Usually I don't really accept a whole lot of people on that one, but just send me a request. I might. And then Loose Shirt Boutique is my boutique that'll be relaunching supposedly the beginning of the year, if not sooner. So that's a couple of months away. So be on the lookout for that. And that's on Instagram and on Facebook. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, you can follow me, Cool with a K, 855 Kenny 84
Mr.
on
Complex.
YouTube, and Cool with a K _855 Kenny on Instagram. Also, you can follow me on Facebook at Conscious KANSHISMYNDED on Facebook.
Get a notepad, get a pen and a pad for his stuff. Complex.
Listen, if you know, you know. If you don't know,
that's it.
keep on moving.
Play too much.
But anyway, it's gonna do it for this one.
Oh, tell them I'm married with you. So we have a Married with Children Instagram page now too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Married Without Children.
Without Children,
on
sorry.
Instagram.
On
You can all
Instagram.
follow us there. That's where we'll post our content together and all that stuff. So
Yeah, that's our
please go follow.
couple
Absolutely.
Instagram. All right, guys. So we love you guys. You know, we appreciate the support. I think we're up to 20 subscribers. And I guess it's okay, maybe, since we've only been doing it for like a month and a half. But we got to do better. Yeah, guys, we need those subscriptions, okay? Just
Please
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Hit that like,
comment,
share.
the
all
notification
that.
button so you can always get the notifications on when we have new content, because we do more content on this page, and reason being is because it's easier for me to do this when I have my partner in crime. Okay, and you know, you always have somebody to bounce off of, you know, so it makes
Interactions,
interactions, and it just makes me a little bit more comfortable.
And you tell them to start what you was thinking about.
What?
Doing the reactions.
Hmm?
The reaction vids.
Oh,
That's gonna come on your channel.
yeah, just we'll hold off on that, because you know me, I'll talk about doing some. I'm horrible at that, and then don't follow through with it sometimes. Yeah. So
To be announced.
To be announced. I may
It's
do
coming.
that, and I may not on my actual Just Been Aisha channel. So I'll keep you in the loop if I decide to do it. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. We'll holler at you on the next one. Peace.